titled "The Future is Female." If you take stock of what is happening from Malaysia, Jordan, Sudan, Egypt, a number of these countries, if you go to their universities, 60% of the university intake are all women. Now, all we need is the law that His Excellency, the Governor of Kano, talked about. If you can put a law in place that makes it compulsory and we implement it for all women to go to school, I can assure you it's a matter of time. Maybe the men will start complaining in the next 25 years that maybe they need some affirmative action. So be assured that it can be done. It's not a problem at all. Let me just say very quickly that for all these investments, and there are many waiting to come to succeed, Your Excellencies, I'm glad that the Governor of Kaduna State yesterday has unveiled the Human Development Capital. But we have to understand, for investment to succeed, we need to develop that human capital. Knowledge in the 21st century is the greatest capital. So we have to invest in knowledge. We have to give young people the skills that are required today to man and produce the kind of goods and services that the market requires. We also need to understand that we have to build the social capital. The social capital, somebody spoke about the rule of law, transparency. We have to do a merit-based system. We have to make sure that trust is developed so that there will be reciprocity, there will be commitment to the common good, which is missing at the moment. But this is something that we have to build for this thing to be sustained. We also need the moral capital, because moral capital, people with courage in society and conscience that can speak truth to power, are necessary. Otherwise, power unchecked and untamed is power on rampage. We have got to have people in our society that can speak truth to power. This way we can be able to check and we can be able to remain on the kind of balance. Of course, the issue of security is being addressed, and I think it's an issue that we should not lose sight of to continue further, because as they say, capital is a coward. It doesn't go where there is trouble. So we need to do something about it. The issue of unity and uniformity is one issue also that once the commission comes on board, it will be able to tackle. But I'm glad to report that as far as I know, the governors, the 7 governors of the Northwest, are extremely committed to this particular idea of setting up an integration and economic integration agency. And they have spoken about it as the one legacy that they would want to leave behind. And I'm sure we'll continue to pray so that they can have the strength and the courage and the will to put this into a practical reality. And this is going to be the one thing that will transform the whole, political landscape and give us the kind of dividends that we have been waiting for. Thank you very much, the audience, for listening, and thank you very much, Your Excellencies, for delivering. And thank you very much, the organizers. And I hand over to you, please. Thank you.
Can we all put our hands together again for this session, very engaging session that we've had. Dr. Usman Bugaje, we thank you so very much for steering this session and your wealth of experience brought into it. But just before we conclude here, there will be presentation that will have, take place here. Yeah, and before we do the presentation, we'd like participants on this platform or session to please come forward for a group photograph. And so I'm inviting the chairman, National All Progressive Congress Party, Chief John Odege Oyegum, to join in the photograph. Let me round it up. Once again, we thank you, Your Excellencies, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, Kano State, His Excellency Abdulaziz Yari, Governor of Zamfara State, Chairman Governors Forum, and we also thank our chief host, Malam Nasru El-Rufai, Governor Kaduna State, and of course the Deputy Governor of Jigawa State, Barrister Ibrahim Hassan Hadija, for being part of this session. It has been a very engaging session, and from what the plenaries have shown, they have been packed filled with imposing thoughts to go home with. From talking about investors' experience in Kaduna State and going to talk about international partnerships for sustainable development in Kaduna State, and technology startups, sports, entertainment, and entrepreneurship. We've moved into economic diversification for sustainable development, and rounding it up, we've had also development finance in subnationals, and to round it off, we've just disengaged from the regional integration and development of Northwest states. We are gradually rounding up, and now, without Miro Adamo, inviting you over for the presentation.
Okay, thank you very much, Your Excellencies, all our distinguished guests. We'll now invite the Commissioner for Budget and Planning, Kaduna State, Alhaji Muhammad Dattijo Sani, one of the youngest in the cabinet, to present what he knows best, okay? That is the portal of the ears and eyes of Kaduna State. Alhaji Muhammad Dattijo Sani, Commissioner Budget and Planning, it's over to you. Sama.
Your Excellency, Chief John Odego Yegun, the Chairman, APC, and former Governor of Edo State, His Excellency, Governor Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai, His Excellency, Governor Ganduje from Kano, His Excellency, Governor Yari from Zamfara State, Their Excellencies, the Deputy Governors of Jigawa and Kaduna State, Honorable Ministers, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm here to make a quick presentation on the citizens' feedback system for Kaduna State. You may recall that the Governor mentioned the unveiling and launching of this feedback system during his presentation yesterday. The quick outline of the presentation is we'll do a quick overview of the state performance assessment strategy. We'll introduce the citizen feedback system and the platforms that we're using to reach out to citizens in Kaduna State, and talk very briefly about how the citizen feedback system works and what we intend to achieve by using the system. So basically, the system that we use to assess performance in Kaduna State, we've tried as much as possible to introduce technology in the monitoring of our capital projects. This is important because we've discovered over the past few years situations where there are huge amounts that are voted for projects, but you go to the locations where these projects are supposed to be, and they're either not there at all, or they're there, but the quality is done in a way that is unacceptable. So we launched the Eyes and Ears project as one way to counter this problem. And today we're launching the citizen feedback version of the Eyes and Ears. Now, the Eyes and Ears gives us online real-time data to assess where each and every one of our projects is and how the contractor that has been mobilized to handle that project is performing. It is based on a simple